Yeah, we're good. They said, okay, who said it? Audio's good, says Brian Crosby. Go ahead, Brian. My brother. All right, guys. Welcome to another edition of No Sellouts, and that's what I call all my interviews, no sellout interviews. And tonight I have my friend returning again. He's an activist out of the lovely state, the glorious state of Florida. You know him and I know him. Geoff Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be back.
Always, my brother. Man, bro, it's been cold here in Maryland, man. How's weather in Florida?
It warmed up today, but we had some cold weather for the first time in a long time. We got into the 40s last week and at night.
Oh, dude, I would pay for 40s.
Right. Oh, we were freezing, and iguanas were falling out of the trees here, and that's not a joke. They were because of when it gets to a certain degrees, like I guess 40 something degrees, they freeze and fall out of the trees. That was happening, a phenomenon.
Wow. That is crazy, man. Iguanas falling from the sky. I would pay for 40s, and I have paid for 40s, but then I stepped up to vodka, and it's been fun ever since. Yo, hey, look, man, but seriously, though, we were in the 20s and the teens, like, early, like, last week, and then, like, today we got up to, like, 40s, so, dude, I'm loving 40s, man. Speaking of somebody who's been drinking 40s, dude, look, Geoff wrote this article, guys. He told me, look, I'm writing this article, I think it's going to be hot. And it went hot as hell. And he's going to talk about that article and the context around that article because, like, dude, this is important for people who are committed to the resistance and what's really going on. So, Geoff, man, what'd you write that's got you in such hot water with certain people?
I basically exposed there's a super PAC called the Democratic Coalition, and there's this guy, Scott Dworkin, who constantly is on MSNBC on Joy-Ann Reid's show. He's a constant on weekends there, on Saturday morning and Sunday mornings. He is well known for pushing the Russia-Trump scenario. He likes to go on there and claim he's about to find proof, the final proof that Donald Trump and Russia colluded, and he likes to go on there and get people all hysterical about Russia and fearing about how bad Trump is, which he is. Policies have been pretty bad, but he likes to turn Trump into this super monster and then connect this Russian monster to that. And I guess that would be fine, but this is a news channel, MSNBC, or they claim to be a news organization.
Right.
And they have him on there doing this, and at the same time, he's promoting his super PAC, the Democratic Coalition, though he doesn't call it a super PAC normally. He just says, our group, our activist group, the Democratic Coalition, where we're going to help fight back Trump. Please send us money. We need money to fight back against and to prove we're going to be working night and day. He says that on the site. They're going to be working night and day to prove a connection between Trump and Russia so that we can impeach him. So
wow. Hey, Geoff, man, that whole thing that they do where it's like a cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? When you were describing it, I kept imagining these cliffhangers. Like, I like Walking Dead, and like every episode, I'm waiting for them to kill, the bad guy or whatever. I forget his name, Negan. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be the episode where they kill Negan, and they don't kill him, and then it's something else, and they go to another. That sort of reminds me of like with Joy Reid and with the Rachel Maddows, and sound like Scott Dworkin.
Yes, Dworkin.
Sound like he's part of that whole the cliffhanger. He could have written for Hollywood with this bullshit, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He likes to be like, and when we get back, or next time, we will be close to giving you that proof. It's coming. If you give us money, we'll be able to do it. They've been. So I just looked into the FEC reports to see.
No, hold on, Geoff. What made you decide? Hey, I'm gonna look into this guy. Did you smell a rat, or what drove you to this?
Correct. I smelled a rat, and we've all had our questions about what Joy-Ann Reid has been pushing on her show and what she says a lot of times on Twitter. Then we also know. So I started noticing people that she lifts up, and one of them is this guy Scott Dworkin. When I noticed somebody on Twitter, I forgot who it was, somebody showed me that that was not just some organization, it was a super PAC. Immediately I dove into those reports just to see where that money, like if we could find anything to prove that this is not as kosher as it seems to be, because it just, to me, sounds like, an easy way to scare people. To me, it sounds like an easy scam. You scare people, you have them really worried, and they'll do anything to stop, this bad guy from ruining the country. So
yeah, even give a lot of money.
Exactly, do anything, because he's going to be, again, remember this, never forget, Scott Dworkin is working night and day on this, night and day.
He's working night and day to do what Robert Mueller's doing. So
right.
So why do we need Robert Mueller investigating if we got Scott Dworkin on the case, man?
I don't know. Scott Dworkin also claims some of his investigation has been on Obama's desk. It's a pretty bold claim that I'd love to see some proof on. That's a whole other story. But yeah, he writes up these reports where he claims to have the proof to connect Trump, and somehow these reports never, break it, and he's not impeached. He's still somehow the president right now. But yeah, so I looked into it. I found out that a few people have started looking into it too, it seems, because this was definitely sounding like a scam. And yeah, it turns out that, they collected around $221,000, maybe a little $800,000 in donations from individual people, including the records show Chris Bosh's wife here in Miami gave $500. Maybe she watches MSNBC and got really worried about Trump and Russia. Who knows why? I won't speculate. But she gave them money. So yeah, they collected $221,000, and then it turns out that around $79,000 of that goes to Scott Dworkin's consultancy firm. So created a super PAC to fight Trump, and then around 80,000 of that goes to his consultancy firm. I'm not quite sure what his consultancy firm is doing to, fight Trump. We can all guess. I don't know that they're doing more than maybe actual activists on the ground or fighting for certain policy.
Right.
Certain things that people could actually be doing that would offset the real dangers of Donald Trump, instead of giving money to some super PAC where we have no clue what they're doing. And they obviously have a very establishment agenda, because they're pushing Biden for 2020. They work somehow with Occupy Democrats, which has already also blocked me. I don't know, they're a news organization. I don't know what they are.
Facebook group or something, right?
Facebook group where I've been told, stolen people's quotes or tweets they've done and put it into memes and then passed it off as their own. So it's another sticky, weird situation going on there. So yeah, we've learned, that they're paying their own, Scott Dworkin's consultancy firm is getting money from this super PAC, and I don't know the proof. I haven't seen the proof of that consultancy firm actually doing anything to help us fight Donald Trump.
On their website, Geoff, what are they saying that they're doing? I mean, that's such an ambiguous thing. We're fighting against Trump. Like, right. What does that mean? Like, I'm fighting against him right now, I guess, by not, tweeting his stuff. Like, what is fighting Trump? What does that mean, you think? Or did they give you any indication of what that looks like in real life?
Not to my knowledge, but my guess, what they're doing is going online and tweeting propaganda about Russia and Donald Trump, and how they're gonna catch this connection that Donald Trump, Russia decided to collude against America and all of us Americans and elect him president. That's their goal. That's how they're going to defeat him. They want to impeach him. That's another one of their goals, to impeach Trump.
But see, this is the thing. This is why I wanted you to come on so bad, Geoff, because here's the thing. Like I know you know this, but everybody watching, no matter who you are, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube guys, nothing that we do, absolutely nothing that we do will get Trump impeached. Like, that's right. a process that people outside of the government have no impact on. I mean, of course you can pressure your representative, but there's a legal proceeding in place for that to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, Geoff, why they're hornswaddling, and I've never used that fucking word, hornswaddling people.
They are.
I just lost my black card saying that shit. But I had to say, look, that's old, dude. That's an old saying. I lost my damn. Anyway, let's swabble. But you get what I'm saying, Geoff, man? This is ridiculous.
It seems that they are, yes, building fears up, playing off fears, which are very real fears that people have, and which makes it, to me, even more disgusting to know that there's people out there that have these real fears about Donald Trump or what policies he may push. And you're going to be like, let's keep pushing even more wild theories. Let's take some half-truths, let's twist them, turn them, make it really scary, and then tell people if they send us money, we are the answer to stopping that monster that's after them. So, yeah, to me, it's very, very troubling and actually, it's really concerning to me that MSNBC and Joy-Ann Reid, are you going to tell me they have no clue what's going on here and that they haven't heard since this report's come out? I mean, we posted this and it got lots and lots of shares. A lot of big people in the media were sharing it and are actually arguing with Scott Dworkin himself because he decided to go on a blocking rampage, is what I would call it. And anybody who even shared, like, if you shared the article, you were blocked. A lot of people who even just liked the article were getting blocked, which shows the dedication that Dworkin was giving to the blocks. He was going in and watching anybody who possibly could have liked this article and then hitting block. It takes a lot of time. I think it's taking away time from that night and day effort of his, of searching for this connection between Donald Trump and Russia. And it's actually upsetting me because I'm concerned about all these donors. He said night and day, and he's taking an awful lot of time on Twitter to block people. So that's taking away from night and day.
You know, you're right, Geoff, man. I find it so absurd and silly and dirty and slimy, but there's also an element to it that's really disgusting and heinous, like you just pointed out, because I got to remember that there are people who really are afraid of Trump, and they're really listening to what Joy-Ann Reid is saying every time she gets an opportunity on her show, scared of Russia, like the country's under siege and like our democracy has been hijacked, and there are people truly concerned, and they're playing on that, and sort of like I don't know, man, just a regular old scam artist, like they know damn well there's nothing. Scott Dworkin is nobody. Like he has no ability to do anything beyond the FBI. He has no ability to do anything beyond our intelligence agencies that are looking at Russia or whatever investigations, the NSA or the other security organizations. Who is this fucker what's he gonna do that's going to be any different? And the fact that they call themselves the good guys, that's not good guy activity, Geoff.
No, it's not. It's actually causing more confusion. And if they were the good guys, they'd be reporting on straight facts. They would be more concerned with policy and bringing awareness to certain causes that could help fight Donald Trump on national television. You've got millions of people watching Joy-Ann Reid and Joy television program. And sadly, that audience is being given half-truths, even if some of it is true. I'm not saying that that Russia did absolutely nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there, that Donald Trump isn't hurting people. I'm just saying that what they're doing is actually hurting people, because it's like crying wolf. It's like you keep saying, oh, my God, Russia. What happens if there really was a Russian attack? Like, no one's going to believe it after you say it a million times. Nothing's happening. You're sensationalizing things that have happened, and then like a truth that may not be so grand that could actually help in doing something will be forgotten because it'll sound like nothing compared to the crazy claims that like Donald Trump's entire family hangs out in Russia. By the way, that was the next thing I was going to get to. Scott Dworkin started to claim that when people were questioning him, his own followers were like, "What's up with this article that we're reading?" And he started telling people that they were spreading Russian propaganda, that I was a Russian propagandist, and that Progressive Army was apparently a Russian outlet. And if you're going to go with that, I might as well be sitting in Russia right now. Apparently, I'm in Russia at all times. I was born in Russia. Everyone who speaks to me, you may become Russian. I'm not sure. I mean, it's insanity. And that, again, right there, how is somebody who's a national media figure going on and telling complete falsehood that the article is from Russia when they know it's not from Russia? There's no way on earth he thinks that it's from Russia or that it's Russian propaganda. So now he's just going to deflect with not only are the Russians attacking us and Donald Trump and joining up with Donald Trump to hurt America, now they're spreading propaganda about Scott Dworkin. And he doubled down on that and even made a claim as outrageous as saying that Russian bots were attacking him this weekend. Please, and that the organization has only made a few 100,000, but it needs millions. So we need to send more. So he was actually using the article and people asking about it to create more confusion about Russia and then to ask for more money because they need to fight Russia.
Damn.
Yeah.
That guy is pretty, he's pretty sinister. And he's no rookie at doing what he's doing, man. He's like using he's using the thing that's attacking him. He's using it as a mechanism to get more money. It's like,
correct.
You know, and that's like pretty fundamental. That's like the basics of smear, right? Mm-hmm. Like anybody who attacks you, Russian.
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 Right now,
Anybody who questions you, conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. Russian, conspiracy theorist, Russian, you know, and you know, Trump supporter. Right. And so you probably been called all three of them.
Trump supporter, a Bernie bro, or just a bro. They like to attack our intelligence, say that we're mansplaining, say that we're Russian. They'll find any possible thing other than talking about the actual issues, which is the biggest problem with the Democratic Party. They do not talk about issues. They like to distract and blame. And until that's corrected, there's going to be a big problem in this country because you're going to have more and more people disenfranchised, less people voting, and then more right-wing lunatics getting into office because, you know, there's just not a lot of voter turnout. And their base is excited, and our base doesn't care or doesn't know what to think. So
yeah, doesn't know what to think. For the most part, man. It's really splintering because people are like, wow, you know, some people say like this has got to be BS, but it's been going on so long. They're like, well, it's got to be more to it than that. It can't be all BS because they've been doing it for a year and a half. But they don't understand the trick book is to keep going. Like they don't confess that they're not finding much. They just keep going and adding other elements in and start grabbing the kitchen sink. But I like to talk a little bit about the resistance, man, because as I know it, Geoff, the resistance is here to fight Trump, to stop Trump, right? But it seems like they're the wind beneath Trump's orange wings. Like, correct. They give him energy, and he's like flapping around, like, "Ooh, thank you, resistance." So, you know, and as far as them stopping Trump, it seems more like Trump's a grizzly bear in the middle of the river eating. They're like salmon. Right. And they're like, you know, Trump, you're a bigot. You know, Trump, you're a bigot. Trump, you're a bigot. And Trump says, I'm a bear too, and bites their head off. And that's what's happening, man. What's your take on the resistance? How well are they doing?
Well, when you have people like Scott Dworkin claiming they're the lead of the resistance, which is on his Twitter bio, is he's a leader of the resistance. When you have a guy like that claiming to be your leader, when the resistance allows this guy to be on, Joanne Reed claims to be part of the resistance. She has him on her television show. When you have these people pushing false narratives, not talking about the issues, not talking about Medicare for all, not talking about private prisons, not talking about climate change, not talking about pipelines, you could go on and on. They're not talking about that. They're just obsessed with Russia and Donald Trump. That's the laser focus is on those things while like our country is crumbling. You know, it's insane. So I guess they're going to talk. The resistance wants to talk about Russia and Trump until the actual country, until there's, you know, Trump takes over. They're not doing anything except talking about it.
Scott,
and when you're,
I'm sorry, I just got to say this, Geoff, real quick.
Yeah.
Scott Dworkin says he says that he is the leader of the resistance. Other people should give you that label. Like, correct. You don't get. You know, like, you know, other people should say like Geoff's a great activist. You don't say I'm Geoff, I'm right. A great activist.
Right.
You know, like that's like a telltale of a guy who's full of shit.
Correct. Leader of the Bernie resistance. Send me money quick, or Trump's gonna take over. You got to send me money. How else?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just think the resistance needs to, if it wants to resist, it's got to resist the actual problems that Trump brings. It's not just this like this title. It feels like it's a title and nothing more. That's how I think of the resistance.
Yeah, yeah. And this is type of activity that, since the 2016 election, thousands and thousands of Democratic members have exited the party. And the thing is, Geoff, they haven't went to any other parties. They're just party less. And that's how you know how bad the Democratic Party's doing. I mean, these people didn't go join another party. They just gave up parties. That's got to be a pretty bad party that 2016 was involved in, man. I've been to bad parties, but I went to other ones. I mean, I didn't give up parties. We got people just like, I'm party less. So instead of focusing, enjoy read all of them. Instead of focusing on what can they do as far as producing a great candidate, producing great policies that excite people, that energize people. We got guys like Scott doing the polar opposite, is grifting people out of their money. And we're talking, you said, almost $250,000, right?
Almost, yes. 221,000. And he himself taking around, if you round up, and a very easy roundups, 80,000 to his own consultancy firm, which I'm guessing, I mean, I'd love to see the numbers on that, or where all that went exactly. But I won't speculate. Yeah, I mean, so that money that's going to Scott Dworkin and the Democratic coalition, I mean, that money could be going to grassroots candidates that need help on the ground, knocking doors, getting out there, getting their message. That money could go to all types of organizations that are going to get hit by Donald Trump's presidency. Activist groups fighting for climate change, solar, Planned Parenthood. I could probably list a million organizations that could use that $200,000, and I don't trust Scott Dworkin is getting that money to those people. And
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, frankly, why would he have to be the middleman? Again, we're dealing with a middleman that doesn't need to be there. Like, we don't need Scott Dworkin overseeing the resistance. We just need actual people doing things on the ground. And that would be resisting, in my opinion.
Man, I bet you they're calling you a Russian collaborator, a Russian troll. I mean, and look, and I agree with you, Geoff. It's like the money could be spent in ways that actually help people become educated or get people involved in the process. That's what it needs to be on. It should be on turning out that new vote. Getting those people who have, turned their back on the Democratic Party, people who haven't voted. We got new millennials every year that are coming of age to vote. You should be doing outreach, not selling snake oil to people, telling them we're going to stop Trump.
And guess what? When they don't stop Trump, what happens then? More disenfranchised people, more people not trusting the system. So again, they're just hurting. It's not helping. They're not resisting. They're helping the opposite side, in my opinion. And they shouldn't be allowed on television. MSNBC and Joanne Reed should be ashamed. More people should be furious. And I'd actually like to hear an answer from her. She refuses to even comment. Dworkin refuses to comment. Just blocks people. And it's a pretty sad situation that's going on for the Democrats, in my opinion, when their leaders act this way.
It is sad. It's despicable is what it is, bro, because they are playing on the fears of people, and they're using that to line their own pockets. I mean, on a personal note, like, I put out a Fiverr ad so that so every once in a while I'll tweet somebody something. It's usually about a business or something they got going on, and I put in there a hashtag TB friends or something like that, so people know it's and I only done like maybe 10 of them in the last year. Somebody contacted me and they were like, Tim, what's this thing you got on Fiverr? I'm like, what do you mean? They say, what's this thing you're doing on Fiverr? Are you getting paid to promote people? I'm like, yeah, it's like $25, man. And I put a hashtag on it. But these people want to destroy, like, it's like they want to nitpick on us. We got this guy getting he's raised $250,000. You worried about you saw how much my ad, you saw how much I was charging, $25. Well, as long as you put the hashtag, Tim, it's okay. I just wanted to verify. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? Dude, do you realize I do this for a living? I got to live indoors, man. You want to give to the show? They're like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. Wouldn't want to contribute to independent media, accidentally assist you. But I'm just dumbfounded by how much money the Democratic Party, dude. If people don't realize by now that we are the good guys, we may differ on some stuff, But compared to those establishment clowns, man, they're the problem. When are people going to wake up, Geoff?
We just got to get the message out there more. And the problem is like this. He blocks it. He has people like Joanne Reed, other major media figures that are going to help lift that message and block out the truth. Luckily, Glenn Greenwald and Max Blumenthal confronted him with the article.
What?
Yes, which was amazing. Thank you both of them.
No doubt, no doubt.
They noticed, I guess, that people were complaining about the mass block that Scott Dworkin was putting on. His fingers must be tired. They're probably in ice right now from the weekend of blocking that he was doing. I guess they noticed that people were being blocked, so they asked him straight up. He called the article garbage and Russian propaganda again. So yeah, even to other people in the media, he's just going to stick with the lie, keep pushing forward, Russia, Russia, Russia. It's quite insane. And the only thing that makes me feel happy is that throughout, within history, eventually we will be proven on the right side of it. And I know we will, because anybody who's going to see what's going down here in a few years is going to see it absolutely clearly that this whole thing was a charade.
Yeah. I mean, if they could just say Hillary lost this shit, she lost. Hey, this is what happens.
People lose. Sometimes you don't go to Wisconsin and Michigan, or maybe you couldn't have gone there because it would have made it worse for you. Who knows? But
yeah,
you lose sometimes. Sometimes you pick a bad vice president who pretends to be, he can speak Spanish and is great for the Hispanic community, and then he votes against the Dreamers. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, and you see what is happening. It's like it's compounded. So now they won't admit that Hillary lost the thing. So they create the resistance. Now they grift to all these people. They run them through the wood chipper, so to speak, to get their money. And now they're talking about Oprah, and as a reaction to Trump. And it's like, no, dude, no, we want people with political experience. They just can't be hacks.
You don't want billionaires.
There you go. People wanted Trump because he was the only available anti-establishment candidate on the right. That's why they went with him. It's like they wanted a guy who wasn't a part of the cesspool or the swamp. But we had the same thing on the left. His name was Bernie Sanders, and you wouldn't allow him to win. It would be a totally different world right now. That's what I believe.
Bernie would have won.
You got any thoughts about Oprah Winfrey becoming the next nominee for the Democratic Party?
A terrible decision, in my opinion. She has never been in office. We know her friendship with Harvey Weinstein. I know people will say that's not a big deal. Fine, it's not a big deal. She is a billionaire. She's friends with all these people. I haven't heard much of her policy. Just because somebody, has a great message and you like them does not mean that they're ready to be the president of the United States, as we've noticed this time. So I think Oprah's a better human being than Donald Trump. I will put that on the record. But I do not believe she should be the nominee of the
That's
Democratic
that low
Party.
bar. That's that bar. You step over it like, oh, man, I stepped over a bar. Didn't know I did that. That's that low bar. But, yeah, I agree with you, man. I just look at Oprah and I say, why would you want to be president? Like, where's your track record of caring about people? Like, my thing is, if you have a plan and your goal is to help people, like, okay, I'll listen to you. I don't care who you are. If you got a plan, let me look at what you got. And she hasn't showed us what she's got, so there's nothing to even talk about. I think it's just a distraction, Geoff, man. Like, we need a news cycle. So the whole time the Oprah thing was going on, I'm like, what else is happening? Because there's got to be some shit they don't want us to look at. Is it Yemen? What's going on? What is it the drilling, offshore drilling that Trump just pushed through? It's got to be something else that they don't want us to pay attention to.
I agree. I think that the Oprah thing is it's something to get people's attention, get a few people excited. And sadly, I noticed on my Facebook feed a lot of, I would just say they're good people just were caught up in the media. They're like, Oprah, yay, Oprah, my childhood. I grew up watching Oprah. So let's have somebody who had a talk show and promoted Dr. Phil and all these other, I call them the grifters. I mean, that's more grifters, in my opinion. I don't want a president that pushed a bunch of grifters on us, because we've got enough of those apparently in the Democratic Party as is. I want to go with somebody who's strong on policy, an educator, whether that's my favorite Bernie Sanders or anybody who can step up and actually speak to what people actually need in this country. So
yeah,
that's what I'm looking for.
correct, man. I agree with you. You know, I want to challenge people to think big. You know, don't use don't use any of our previous presidents as a boilerplate for what we get next. What would you, if you could have any type of a person be a president? Let's shoot for that, and let's make that a high bar. Like, you know, like we got some great people in this country. We can fund. We've proven with Bernie Sanders that we can fund anybody we want.
Right.
We can give them the tools to succeed. Why go with her? Go with somebody who's been, I don't know, traveling the world fighting disease, malaria outbreaks in Africa, or, you know, working in the community in the rural West Virginia and Appalachia or something. Like, at least if you're gonna lose with somebody that you feel damn good supporting. That's somebody who don't need you, who's got money, who hasn't touched the steering wheel in the last 20 years. Like, no.
Right.
Come on, man.
Or unless, you know, Oprah shows up and is ready to back, you know, healthcare for all and fight for some serious policy and say, you know what, I'm not if she wants to pull that, I'm not a politician, but I'm here for the people. Mm-hmm. Shock us. I won't say never, but I'm seriously doubting that will be the message. So from what I'm seeing now, I just think it's a very, very stupid, short-sighted right now in the moment. Yay, let's get another billionaire to fight this billionaire, a smarter billionaire.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've never seen Oprah fight for anything that wasn't about her. You know, like when she speaks out about social issues, it was always about when it happened to her. Then she spoke out. Like, she was like somewhere in London, I think, or something. They wouldn't let her in a store in Sweden or some shit. Well, okay. It affects me? Okay. Hey, we got discrimination. But like, you know, and I remember her making statements about, you know, on her show, like early on in the show, she'd make statements like, you know, black people just hanging on to slavery. They need to let it go and stop making that as an excuse. I mean, she said some really horrible things. And I don't think her past is so squeaky clean. Like, no one knows anything about Oprah. A lot's going to come out now for any candidate in the future. Because you saw with this whole Me Too movement, like, they're going to go through women's backgrounds too and look and see what they had going on.
Right. Well, we know she has a close friendship with Weinstein. That's already out. We'll let them keep digging. I mean, I would say Oprah is a pretty intelligent human being. I'd say she's pretty with it to be where she is right now in society. To tell me that Oprah Winfrey had no clue, I never heard a rumor about Harvey Weinstein, maybe, but I just don't see it.
Yeah. You know, if she wasn't up there talking about the Me Too movement, it wouldn't look so bad. But then you just Google her, you see her, you know, with her hand on Charlie Rose's thigh.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that? Like, okay. Yeah. Kissing Harvey Marshmallow Weinstein. Yeah. Dude is disgusting, man. But back to Scott Dworkin, man. So no response. He hasn't retaliated other than to block you. He's doing a Peter Dow. Is that what he's doing?
He's a poor man's Peter Dow. The funny thing is and maybe more sinister thing is I think Dworkin and the Democratic coalition and Occupy Democrats, who seem to be somehow connected to them, I'm not sure completely. Dworkin did let out a tweet where he was like, oh, these Russian propagandists are attacking as if I'm the only one part of the coalition. And then he listed some other people that were part of it. And interestingly enough, he tagged a person named Grant Stern, who is a local, he's actually a Miami-Dade Democrat, local, who I have called out for the similar Russia propaganda that he has stirred up. It's almost like a baby version of Dworkin, but in Miami. And he's part of Occupy Democrats. This person, when I called him out on Russia earlier in this year, doxed me and then blocked me. So I didn't even block him. He doxed me and then decided to block me because people were furious that he doxed me. That shows somebody who's probably a little bit guilty when all I did was question their Russian narrative to all of a sudden jump to doxing. Now I know, thanks to Dworkin's little slip, I already had a feeling that they had to be connected because Occupy Democrats, and this guy's pushing some stupid, bogus, same-sounding Russian theory. They retweet each other a lot. So then Dworkin actually went out and confirmed that little connection there. So yeah, there's something going on here with the Dem coalition and Occupy Democrats. They're here to scare everybody about Trump and push, establishment Democrats as the answer.
A lot of these organizations are using the Russia thing as a conduit to raise money. It is what it is. But there are some organizations that are actually doing work in the community. There's some organizations that actually are trying to help candidates run, and they're actually doing real stuff. And then there's other organizations that exist to raise funds. That's their purpose. We're here to raise money. What's the cause? Raising money. It's an ambiguous thing, just
keeping the consultants well fed.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's one of the biggest problems with the Democratic Party. And I'll say it probably all the way through 2020. We got to cut off the consultants. They've got a stranglehold on the Florida Democratic Party. They've got a stranglehold on the entire party. Tom Perez is part of it. He's locked up with these consultants. And until we stop worrying about paying them and we started worrying about winning elections, it's going to be a long road for Democrats.
I hear you, man. Real talk. So let's switch to real quick, man. You gotta give me updates on Florida. Tim Canova, Debbie Wasserman. Debbie Wasserman, she's still holding the seat. What's up?
She's still here. She's still in her seat. She's hiding. She's not been making many public appearances. I don't think she wants to face anybody. Yeah, she's caught up in a little bit of controversy. So a little update on Tim Canova. A lot of people might already know this, but Tim went to look at the vote count from last time, and when they went to look, they were told by the Broward elections office that all the ballots between him and Debbie Wasserman Schultz were destroyed. The funny thing about that is that they're not supposed to be destroyed. I believe it's 22 months. So they're not supposed to be destroyed for 22 months. They were destroyed after 12 months, or September, October area. They were destroyed, and they were destroyed after Tim Canova had requested to look at them. So I'm not going to make any bold claims to say that they've destroyed them because Tim Canova won, but who knows? It is bizarre. It is a federal offense. Brenda Snipes, who's the head of elections in Broward County, has got a lot of answering to do. So there's that going on. So we got some weird issues in the election office, which isn't something you like to hear, but I'd like it. It's good that we get this information out now and we make it known so that there's maybe no shadiness going on in the upcoming election. And we've got to make sure that this gets attention. Debbie Wasserman Schultz has not commented on that little situation. So there's that. Tim is starting up, including this weekend. He's back in Florida, and it is January 2018, and this is the 2018 election. So, yeah, the Tim Canova campaign is in gear, starting now. So if anybody wants to help out, you can either go to timcanova.com to help with donations, or I'm sure there's going to be soon ways for you to phone bank. And obviously, we'll be very happy if anyone wants to come on down and help knock on doors. Obviously, as we get closer to the election, that'll be more pressing. But yeah, keep look out for ways to help Tim Canova, because obviously Debbie Wasserman Schultz has not changed her ways. I looked at her last FEC reports. She's taking money from all the same people: Big Sugar, Big Liquor, Wall Street, companies that create war machines, that these unethical bombs that spray into a million places, and shrapnel. I can go on and on about the stuff that she's involved with. Very democratic, let me tell you. Private prisons, payday loans.
Nothing's changed. She's the same old Debbie. At least she's consistent in her corruption.
Right. Right. But she's the progressive fighting for us. It's on her website. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, just like Scott Dworkin. He's the leader of the resistance.
Right. She's another leader of that resistance.
Another leader of the resistance. What's the lady at Broward County who the leader of elections, chief of elections or whatever?
Brenda Snipes.
Snipes. Yeah, I don't know if she's guilty or not, but if someone asked, "Hey, can I see the receipt?" And she's like, "Huh? Do you want to see the receipt?" Like,
You're right.
We
Incinerate them.
Ironically, I just ripped them up just now. So that makes you look guilty, Miss Snipes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no matter what, it is a federal offense.
Yeah. It doesn't matter why you did it.
She is. I don't know that I'd want her to be put in prison, but it's tough because it is a crime. She's an older woman. To put someone like that in prison, it's pretty rough. But honestly, what are you going to do? You got to bring up the facts, and we've got to hold people accountable, or who knows what else is going to happen in further elections.
Oh man, election fraud is a big deal. Like I say, maybe Granny need to chill in the, we know what, we go ankle bracelet.
Fine.
Ankle bracelet.
I won't play judge. I'll let them do that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, I mean, I could understand the ankle bracelet. And community service on the weekends, actually helping our democracy in some way instead of stealing it.
Exactly.
I can say this stuff. I'm not a part of anyone's campaign. I just talk. Hey, look, Geoff, man, tell people where to go to find out more about what you got going on, and direct them to any cause of the Canovathon thing.
Well, I'll quickly mention also the pharmaceutical issue that we.
This is good. Now, this is why. Look, guys, Geoff's got so much stuff going on. He's always engaged in a great cause, right? So this was what I thought we were going to talk about initially, and it's about a pharmaceutical company. What these bastards are doing. I thought Scarelli was like it. I thought you saw how the powers that be converged on Scarelli, the bastard who started charging all the money. I think it's for AIDS medication or something.
Well, I forgot exactly what his medication, but he upcharged it hundreds of percents. And so we found another one of him, another similar type of guy, a young guy in his 30s who purchased this formula, this drug, this medication, a life-saving cancer medication. He actually had nothing to do with creating it, the research that went into it, which is why you would possibly claim that you need to charge such an insane price for the drug, is that you're doing research and making it a better quality medicine. That's not what was going on. He had purchased it, and then the pill went from being, so his company is called Next Source Pharmaceuticals. They're based in Miami. And his name is Robert Diskrisky, I think it is. The price of the pill for one pill went from $50 to $750. So first, our caucus, the Miami-Dade Progressive Caucus, People's Progressive Caucus of Miami-Dade, which we're just starting our second year, and we have elections on Thursday if you want to come in. But we decided we were going to protest that, and we made a statement asking all people running in Miami-Dade, all public officials and officials running for office, to condemn this. And then we took even a step further, and we planned a protest in front of his condo. And his lawyers found out about that and called us, and they said, "Oh, no, let's have a talk. You don't need to have a protest. Let's have a talk." Then we said, "Okay, let's have a talk." And then the morning that we were going to the day that we were either going to have the protest or have the talk, they finally responded and then said, "Never mind, we're not going to have the talk." So I guess they were trying to, maybe if they held us off, maybe it would ruin the planning of the protest. Whatever they were attempting, we got around 20 or so people, maybe a little more, over to the condo where we, with our bullhorns, demanded that, let his neighbors know what was up. And we demanded that, people shouldn't have to go bankrupt. They shouldn't have to lose their life savings because someone in their family or they themselves get a life-threatening illness. It's insane. You want to talk about the grifters are pretty bad, but the people that are going to take a medicine that saves lives and decide, you know what, I'm going to take it from 50 to 750 a pill because I know they need the pill. Damn. That's a pretty special individual, I would say.
What's this guy's name again, Geoff?
His name is Robert Diskrisky. He's a pretty rich fellow. He lives in Miami, Florida. Hopefully, everybody look out for me. I've just named him.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a video on him by himself, man.
There was a Washington Post article on his outrageous drug pricing. We need to draw more attention. We need to get this guy high profile. We need, people to say this is not okay. It's not okay in America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, for people to be jacking up life-saving drugs. I mean, what are we doing here? What do we stand for?
Yeah, you know, when people say they don't want, you know, they want to fight against regulations, they want to deregulate everything. This is what you get. This is it. All right. And
here's the market for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, wait, let the market decide. Let the market decide. There you go. So, you know, Robert Drzisky?
Yeah, Drzisky.
This bitch makes Scott Dworkin look like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, sadly, yeah.
Easy, like this guy is killing people.
I mean, it's true. We had the saddest part, and the thing that actually hits you is when you go to a protest like this. Luckily for me, nobody in my family that was young was affected by cancer. Yes, my grandfather, when he was advanced in his 80s, did suffer from prostate cancer. But, you know, when you meet people that had young or relatively young individuals in their family who were cut down by an illness that could have been prevented if they had been able to afford a medicine. And then, you know, there's this guy living in this high rise who's sitting back, who knows what he's doing. He's not concerned, that's for sure. While people are suffering, our families are suffering. And, you know, we're supposed to be America, a beacon of hope, and this country that stands for such amazing things. Yet we let, you know, these pharmaceutical companies just ravage people. And it's not just the drug, you know, the cancer saving drugs. It's all types of medicines that, you know, that are being just overcharged, or medicines that I'm not sure are doing much help for people. You know, we could go on and on about the pharmaceutical industry. And I will also add Debbie Wasserman Schultz takes lots and lots of money from the pharmaceutical company and then claims that medical marijuana should not be a thing. Who knows? It could possibly kill somebody. You never know.
Absolutely. Heart-wrenching stuff, man, and this is the type of thing that makes you, I tell you, man, once you get involved in issues like this, man, it really puts a lock on you. Like, you'll see why people are activists, and you'll see why people dedicate their lives to these types of causes, because it's such a horrendous shit. This is actually happening, man. And sometimes I try to stay away, man, because it gets me so angry, Geoff, that I just wish I could reach out and, I don't know, give Robert a nice big kiss on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the nicest way I could put it, because, you know, you don't want to be threatening people. But I tell you, man, that's a special kind of American right there.
Right.
You know, well, and he was one other thing. He's probably was emboldened by Scarelli, because you see, he probably watched Scarelli get away with that shit for a long time. He was like, well, why am I sitting around not making multiple millions of dollars? You know?
Possibly hoping it'll give him attention. I don't even know. But I will add one other little thing about this character. He was arrested last year for abusing his girlfriend and throwing her dog at her. So that's another added bonus to this individual's moral compass. You can see who we're dealing with. This guy throws animals at people. Wow. So yeah, it's sad. It makes me very upset that also it reminds me that the left, when the left is eating itself, and when we have people that have these purity tests and claim that people are sellouts because they have anything to do with the Democratic Party or they have anything to do with whatever group. I'll tell you something right now. At this protest, we had people from the Democratic Party,
right,
from the Democratic Socialists of America, from the Independent Party, from the Green Party. We had people from the People's Party. We had every possible person there, and we had good Democrats there. So every human being, just because you are fighting for the Democratic Party, you're not in this, doesn't mean you're establishment. So just remember that when you've got trolls on Twitter or wherever you are who try to say that, you know, because somebody does something with the Democrats, they're a sellout. Sorry, I saw some really good people that were not faking it, were not anything to do with the establishment. They were out there yelling, upset with this individual. And these are the people that we need to go after, the people that are actually abusing things that can hurt lives, that cause people to die. So I think people need to take a deeper look into the fight and actually focus on the establishment, whether it's the Democrat or the Republican establishment. Because if I had to guess, this guy's probably Republican, but I don't know. You know, we just need to fight the establishment and then focus more on the top 10 to 1%, 1%, because that's the real fight. We need to unite the 99% and stop with all the division. That's the biggest thing. We need to lift up progressives, protect each other, fight together, and actually work against the sinister individuals like this guy, the pharmaceutical rep, and then to a lesser degree, Scott Dworkin, because I know when you put him up against somebody who's, ripping off cancer patients, he seems like not a big deal. But again, he is ripping off, people that are innocent and looking for help in this country. And I find that just not equally, but a very sad situation.
All right. Well, Geoff, I want to thank you very much for coming on and shedding light on this issue, bringing awareness to it. Once again, brother, it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Geoff, tell people where to go to follow you to find out more.
You can follow me at Geoff Miami Gator on Twitter. I'm going to have an article coming out pretty soon, again, with Michael Sinato and Walker Bragman. We've been doing a little research. We got something coming. We've been digging again. There's some more people about to take a fall. I won't say much more, but we've got some more corrupt establishment folks that are going to be exposed, and that we've been following the money.
Wow. Sinato, Bragman, and Campbell, the 3M, 3 millennials, 3M. There you go. Take it, use it. You guys need to, trademark that shit. 3 millennials kicking butt, man. Thank you so much for joining me, Geoff. Hey, guys, follow Geoff Miami on Twitter. And guys, keep the relativity, how can I say this, man? Keep things in perspective. We got a lot of fights to fight, and we probably shouldn't waste our time fighting one another.
Love each other.
We got this shit going on.
Yes.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you once again, Geoff. And we are out of here. Oh, Wolfpack, check your emails. I sent you some emails. If you're a Patreon, I have sent you some emails. I'm trying to follow up with you. I love you. And that's it for the Tim Black at Night Show. Yeah, yo, Tim Canova. Shout out to Tim Canova, Peter Hager, Elijah Manley.
Beth Lamb is a friend of mine.
Beth Lamb.
Great Twitter follower. Everyone give her a follow.
Beth Lamb is a friend of ours. I love Beth. Thank you, Beth. And Stephanie, holla at me, but Stephanie, I wish you well. All right, Florida, good night, and I'll see you on the next one.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black.
And I discovered